Welcome to Making the Case. I'm Yodit Tewolde. Tonight we bring you a story out of Washington State, a story that's received little national attention, a story eerily similar to what happened to George Floyd, which sparked outrage and launched a worldwide movement. The case of Manuel Ellis, an unarmed black man brutally beaten and killed by police, happened 2 months earlier. Ellis was killed in March of 2020 when he was stopped by Tacoma police while walking home from a local gas station. During the confrontation, officers beat, tased, choked, and hogtied Ellis. Like George Floyd, Ellis is heard repeatedly saying, "I can't breathe," as officers pressed him to the ground. 3 of the officers involved are now facing murder charges. The incident was caught on video from multiple witnesses, including a woman who happened to be passing by. Before we play the portion of this footage, a warning: the video may be too hard to watch.
Hey! Stop! Oh my God! Stop hitting him! Hitting him! Just arrest him! Just arrest him!
Behind your back. You're gonna get it again. Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Joining me now is Manuel's sister, Monet Carter-Mixon, along with family attorney James Bible. Thanks to you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Monet, to you first. Officers have, they've tried to portray your brother in a certain way since his death, and they'll continue to tarnish his character, especially when their trial begins. I want to know from you, someone who knew Manuel better than anyone, tell us who your brother was. What kind of a person was he?
He was an awesome person. He was a gentle giant, very charismatic, extremely funny, really loving and nurturing. I always tell people that I have 6 kids now. My past 4 babies that I've had, Manny was the sole caregiver for them from the time that they were probably about 5 weeks old until they were about 4. He was just a very loving, sweet person, and I miss him a lot.
I read that that Ellis, or Manuel that is, played the drums 2 to 3 times a week with his church. Talk to us about Manuel, especially when it comes to his community.
He called it his church family, and he really wanted myself and my mom to go with him. Like, he would call us all the time, like, "You guys gonna come to church? You gonna come to church?" But he loved his church family. He had told me that he actually found his purpose when he got back into playing the drums. Manny has played the drums since we were kids. He used to get in trouble for banging on stuff when we were little. But my dad was a pastor. We all played an instrument. So he went back to what he knew growing up, and he found his purpose, and he really enjoyed just being able to do something, and that feeling of being important to someone or something.
James, let me bring you in. Now, Manuel was walking home with donuts and a bottle of water when he was confronted by officers. What was the reason for stopping him in the first place?
There is no good reason for having stopped Manuel Ellis. The reason that they've used has been ever changing based on additional information we keep finding and we keep putting forward. They've then in turn amended or changed what their reasoning was. Ultimately, they said or claimed that he was on some level maybe hitting a car. That was totally debunked. That he had approached some woman. That had been debunked. They misrepresented all information until we located 3 separate independent videos, 3 separate witnesses that said none of that occurred. The truth is, they stopped Manuel Ellis because he was a black walking down the street in Tacoma, Washington at approximately 11 p.m. with donuts in his hand.
Now, Ellis's death was ruled a homicide by the Pierce County Medical Examiner, caused by, quote, respiratory arrest resulting from hypoxia due to physical restraint. Ellis was caught on video telling officers multiple times that he couldn't breathe, but despite his pleas, The officers continued to press him against the ground and then placed a spit hood over his face. So first, I want to ask you, please explain why that shouldn't have happened in the first place, putting the spit hood on him. And could that play a significant role in the criminal case against some of them, specifically establishing intent?
In terms of intent, probably the most important thing will be the response of the officers, as Manuel was saying, "I can't breathe," which was shut the F up, but the full word. Ultimately, there was no reason or justification to first slam a door into Manuel Ellis, throw him to the ground, beat, kick, tase, and then hog tie him, and then later put a spit mask over his head. The medical examiner made that determination in relation to homicide prior to the discovery of the 3 independent videos. And then once those 3 videos were discovered,
Wow.
it just further established that what the medical examiner had claimed was actually true. So that led the way to the murder charges that are currently filed against 3 officers. But frankly, we think they should have been filed against more officers as well.
That is what I was going to ask you. So there are other officers who haven't been criminally charged who were there, who participated in the restraint of Manuel, correct?
Absolutely. They actively participated in the restraint, and restraint doesn't do justice to the harm that they did to the body of Manuel Ellis, because after they had hogtied him, after they had choked him, after they beat him, after they had done all of that, they then in turn one of them had their entire body weight, over 200 pounds, on Manuel for over 8 minutes. Other officers had their body weight on arms and shoulders. They watched this man die at a certain point. There's actually a whole nother video and photo of the officers standing around staring at Manuel Ellis when he's in that absolutely desperate position.
James, how soon after Manuel was killed did these videos surface?
Approximately 3 months. The reality is that as soon as this occurred, as soon as they murdered Manuel Ellis, they went into this phase of damage control. They first went to reporters that they trusted, media that they trusted, articulated how Manuel had superhuman strength and must have lifted officers up, thrown them to the ground, body slammed them, and they were in a struggle for their life. And then he died of what they claimed was excited delirium. And they got away with that for approximately 3 months with just about everybody except for Monet. Monet contacted us about 3 months later, and then we did whatever we could to help her, but she was dynamic and pushed it. And in the state of Washington, she is the Aaron Brockovich of criminal justice in terms of excessive force. We were able to get those witnesses, find those videos, enough noise was made and people came forward. And the truth is they didn't even realize that this was the incident, because the media had described it as so different than what they had actually seen. And they didn't really have an outlet, because the police did this and they didn't know who to give video to or who to talk to or where to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, we reached out to the Tacoma Police Department for comment, but they declined, saying, quote, "The city does not comment on pending or ongoing litigation." Monet, to you. Given how many videos had surfaced 3 months after your brother was killed, right around the time George Floyd's killing had occurred, this case didn't get as much media attention. Why do you think that is? Oh, I think she might be muted. Monet, do we have her?
Oh, sorry. I was saying that out here in Tacoma, typically, or in Washington, when things like this happen, the media and I feel like the police, they try to suppress as much information as possible to hide it from the people here and people that live in other states because of that utopia, that white utopia I feel like we have here. They want people to think that it's safe when this is not a safe place for Black people. It never was.
Well, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on this case, and hopefully you two will be back to give us some updates. Monet Mixon and family attorney James Bible, thank you so much for your time tonight.